Oh my god. Hey everyone, we are back for another Blue Game Tribal Council. Oh my god, I'm gonna freak out. I'm sorry. There's a hornet that's buzzing around the camera. Oh, you just saw it, I think, on the stream. Sorry, we're just... why? I have applied peppermint oil, which I was told by the internet is supposed to... Fuck, I'm like literally about to throw this live stream thing. Oh my god. I can't, I'm sorry. I'm having a crisis. There's a hornet like going for this camera. Oh my god, okay. Okay, anyway, here come our players. We've got Ethan, Connor, Francis, Mel, Casey, and Joe, as we all file into the tribal council area where the hornets hopefully will not follow, because I am not above running out of it.
Okay, let's bring in our jury. We have Caitlin, Anthony, and Andy voted out at the last tribal council. So with Andy kind of bowing out last tribal, it's like you all drew the chance card in Monopoly that says advance straight to go, collect $200. And I'm sure some of you were very happy to respect her wishes, as that meant you got to proceed to the next round of things. But I'd be interested to know, does anybody feel like Andy leaving actually was bad for their game? No? You all thought it was the correct move? So if Andy did not then volunteer to kind of go home, she would have been the vote. All right, we are off to a hot start.
I don't know what the vote would have been.
Okay, thank you.
So, like, I don't know if it would have been me or her, but I think either way there were paths forward for me. So I don't think that, like, I can look at it like, oh, this really messed me up or whatever, because, like, there are pros and cons of any of it, and a lot is left open and uncertain. But I do feel a lot better knowing that I made this round. But it was a big question mark of what was going to happen last round.
Okay.
For me.
So you feel like you potentially needed to win that immunity there?
Yes, of course. I think we all needed to win it.
Yeah.
And I think we were all happy to make Final Six. And so, with Andy leaving, we didn't really have that normal sporadic conversation. So I don't know if any names or how many names were thrown out, because it was an easy choice. We didn't vote. So.
Okay. Obviously, a huge driving force of this game have been the loved one pairs. Now there are no longer any loved one pairs in the blue game. Lucy, how does that change the dynamic of how you're playing? I know not necessarily you specifically, but how everyone is playing the game moving forward now that it's all individuals.
Well, it's interesting because I was the first one to be in this group without a loved one. And it's kind of like, as people have lost their loved ones, I've been able to connect with people a little bit more. And not that I've been able to connect with them, but I feel like they've been able to connect with me. Because when Veronica got voted out, I was extremely emotional. I mean, I was crying, I was bawling. And then we've had multiple people cry whenever their loved ones have been voted out. And I think, like, I guess the empathy kicked in, or like the empathy in this game is extremely high for all of us. I mean, someone mentioned it last tribal council that this morning we all just kind of sat in a circle. We all just kind of sat in a circle and like kind of trauma dumped to a certain extent. And like we really bonded, and I do think it's partly because of the loved ones. And I think it's interesting to note that that happened whenever we were mostly down to singles, and that wasn't happening whenever we were in pairs. But I've been kind of experiencing that the entire merge, so I feel like I've been able to get a little bit closer to people as it's kind of become a more individual game as opposed to pairs.
Okay. Ethan, you are somebody that just in general seems to be like bubbly, keeping in good spirits. How much of that, you know, and obviously despite the circumstances, right? How much of that is just who you are as a person, or is that like strategy to be like, hey, if I'm fun to be around, they want to keep me around?
I think that's just me as a person. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun playing this game, and I feel like I'm outwardly, you can see that I'm enjoying this game, and I'm gonna continue to do that because I'm not gonna like stop enjoying this game.
Francis, on the other hand of things, you seem to, the elements maybe not your thing, right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
How have you been trying to overcome that and not let it affect the way that, because obviously elements, lack of sleep, lack of food, the weather, they affect you, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone. How do you try to lessen that depleting you so much that you're not able to like socialize and be like who you are as a person?
Yeah. Well, you first asked how I can overcome it, and I don't think there's any overcoming it. I think there's just getting through it. But I don't know. I feel like in a way you said like not letting it deplete you and just letting yourself be you as a person. I think in a lot of ways the truest you comes out in those hard moments when you're hungry and cold and tired and wet. So I don't necessarily think that it affects being my true self. I think my true self might be a little bit grumpier than I would like to be, and maybe a little bit more antisocial than I would like to be. So I think that was the hardest part for me. I mean, I'm not used to just being around so many people. I live alone. I'm very introverted. I kind of stick to my core group, so this has definitely pushed me past my limit. But I think just trying to get through it as best as I can, and I think now as the numbers are dwindling and I've gotten to know people more, I've gotten to open up a lot more, and they're not strangers anymore, which makes it a lot less scary.
Yeah.
Did she just say she's sick of us?
No. I'm not sick of y'all.
We're loving it.
Joe, in that last immunity challenge, you and like I said, you and Melanie were truly toe to toe in that. And if anything, when I believe you had placed that last block first and got to your flag first, and then Melanie was able to get her pull in a little bit faster. Talk to me what your emotions were like after that loss.
Yeah, I feel like being so close, if it ends up being me tonight, I'll probably be thinking about that flag for a really long time. So yeah, it's just like the pressure was on. I gave it my all. I got as close as I could. So, I mean, I did my best with it. So just really, I can't really regret anything.
Does anybody have anything else they would like to share or say?
I'll just say one thing. I feel like I know my name is out there. I don't think it makes sense for me to go here. I'm a free agent. Pick me up, use me as a vote. You can vote me out later in the game. I just don't think it makes sense for a couple people here because only 2 people are getting to the end. So just keep that in mind.
Who doesn't it make sense for, Joe? You don't have to share, I guess, at the end of the day, but...
It's fine. They know who they are.
Okay.
But that's it. That's all I got.
All right, and with that, it is time to vote. Casey?
Okay, we were gonna step away from this hornet-infested land and go up the hill so that we can talk. All right. While Tribal Council was happening, I was dousing the top of my phone and my little streaming stabilizer with peppermint oil, so I'm hoping that that is effective so that I don't scream in y'all's face. Sorry. Oh, fuck. I think I have an eyelash in my eye. It's not great. Okay, we're just gonna overcome. I'm worried that I'm gonna get peppermint oil in my eye now. And okay. We're good, sorry. Braving the elements out here. So, all right, we are down to 6 players, so not a lot of places to hide from here on out in a tribal council setting. Okay, sorry. So let's kind of talk about the breakdown of what's going on. So last tribal we had the worst view ever, sorry. Last view, or all right, I just need to like refocus. Okay, so last tribal council, we did not actually vote, so we did not get to like come away and talk about really anything that's happened since last night / this morning. So let's just do a little recap. And so last night, there was an insane vote to cap off the night, and it ended up being a tie. And then instead of being a tie again, Andy actually flipped her vote so that she avoided going to rocks and being eliminated from the game. And Anthony ended up getting sent home. So I got the chance to catch up with Andy a little bit, and so we found out why she did that. Because we weren't sure really, you know, if she understood or she didn't, and then she did. And so basically, she had let us know that, you know, she did have this duos alliance of Andy and Mel and Anthony and Joe as the two pairs that were still left in the game. And so she had given her word that, you know, she would vote with that alliance, even though she really liked Connor and felt very close to Connor. You know, so she is a woman of her word, she says, and as we see, and so she ended up voting for Anthony at the first tribal council. But, you know, she said that, you know, after that, she said, you know, I agreed to vote, like, you know, to vote Connor with my alliance for the first vote, but there was no discussion of what was happening with that second vote. She said, so, you know, I was not under any obligation after that. She said that, you know, she had not agreed to vote him a second time. And so, you know, she ultimately was able to then kind of, you know, not vote Connor again, didn't feel that she could write Connor's name down a second time because she was super close to him. So ultimately decided to, you know, stick with both of the alliances basically that she had made, you know, sticking with her first one for the first vote and then sticking with Connor, another ally member of hers, for the second vote. And so that is why Anthony ended up leaving, along with her realizing, you know, oh, I'm vulnerable to go, and the whole rocks thing, she was not about it. So, so that was really fun to get to learn the motivation behind. So obviously an iconic move, and so I know all of us on production were super jazzed for like that move and to start this day and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so when Andy had kind of let her tribe know, you know, I think it's my time to step aside so that all of you can continue on. You know, everyone of course respected it, but we were all pretty sad because that was a huge resume builder, which actually Andy also did not know what resume building was in the context of Survivor, so that was explained to her at some point as well. But yeah, an iconic move for an iconic queen. So that's how we started today, not getting to come up and chat. And Andy left, and so now we are left with the 6 players. So we have the 4 kind of original singles of Francis, Casey, Connor, and Ethan, who all voted together and were willing to go to rocks. Well, Francis was at the tribal last night, and this, of course, now that Andy has left, leaves only Joe and Mel kind of on the other side, should they continue to stick with this, you know, alliance that had kind of formed yesterday and felt at least kind of pretty strong. Obviously we saw that Mel won individual immunity against Joe. I mean, against everyone, but Joe was the only other person that was even close to winning, to the point where I was showing Joe on the live stream, not realizing that Mel had caught up and was, you know, about to win herself. So that leaves Joe pretty vulnerable, which, you know, as we saw in this tribal council, Joe was kind of, you know, talking about that and seemed the most, at least outwardly, seemed the most worried of everyone that was, you know, sitting there at tribal council. In other news, so also last night at the end of the night, the immunity challenge kind of answers lent themselves to an idol clue, and so Ethan was the one that got the idol clue, well, they all got the idol clue. Ethan found the idol, and so Ethan has the idol. It actually does expire this round at the final 6, and so it's a question of, is Ethan gonna play it here just to like super ensure that he's safe? Or I think Ethan was also thinking, well, what if I bring it to the Final 5 tribal and kind of flaunt it and act as though, you know, I still have, like, I have immunity and can't be voted, even though at that point the idol would actually be an inactive idol and not eligible to be played. So I think that might be his plan for next tribal. However, Mel, who infamously or famously grabbed an idol on the very first day in the very first challenge that everyone knew about, she kind of really shared it with the world, and so her paper on her idol said that it expires at the final 6. So I think Ethan told Connor, I think, about the idol that he found and no one else. And so I don't know if Connor has told other people, but I think at the very least Connor realizes that, you know, Ethan's idol expires now and not next round. So I don't know if that information will be kept to, like, if Connor will keep it to himself or he will share it. As far as, as far as dynamics go with the players, it's my understanding that several final 2s have been tossed around. I believe Francis has final 2s with everyone but Mel. I think Casey has said that he would take Francis to the finals, but actually might not, and I think would maybe prefer to go with, I can't remember, maybe Ethan or Connor. But there's a lot of final 2s kind of going around. I'm assuming Ethan and Connor have a final 2 since Ethan only told Connor about the idol, so that feels like final 2 behavior. So yeah, but everyone obviously at the final 6 looking to the end game, looking to figure out not only how they are going to get there, but how they are going to get there with whoever they're trying to sit next to. So we shall see. I know that Joe was saying there's only going to be 2 people at the end. I don't know if it's like a thing where it's a final 2 and they were told, or like, I'm not really sure about that, or if he's just like assuming, or like what the deal is with that, because I don't know. But anyway, so maybe it's just like, maybe it's speculation, or maybe they were told something, like, I'm not really sure about, but yeah. Oh, I'm being called away, so let's head on back, because I now see host Kelsey is going to tally the votes. So let's head on in and get those results. All right. Heading back into the tribal council area now as the players patiently and silently wait. Sam, our pyrotechnics specialist, getting our torch all lit and ready for someone to snuff. Blazing wildly. It's blazing enough for all the torches that we haven't had this entire time. So look at that. This feels like Olympic torch level production value. We love it, and we're scared of it a little bit, but you know, blaze on. Some fighting words in the chat right now.
If anyone has an advantage or an idol and you'd like to play one, now would be the time to do so. I will read the votes. Oh. Joe. So 1 vote, Casey. Joe. It's 2 votes, Joe. 1 vote, Casey. Joe. It's 3 votes, Joe. 1 vote, Casey. Joe. Or is that 4? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, that's for them.
I knew that's what it was about. So,
And let's go ahead and follow Joe out of the tribal council area and up the hill where we will get to catch up with him before he heads to Ponderosa. Joe, we are still live, so we're just gonna head up a little bit, and then once we're out of earshot of the rest of the game, we'll just get your thoughts and it'll be your time to share, and we'll just ask a few questions, okay?
sounds good.
All right. All right, so we'll just have you we'll just go up here since, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, this is great, and you can just drop your stuff and settle in. Absolutely.
Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a mess. I feel like I'm going to be so chaotic.
Totally fine. This is your time. Sure. So whenever you're ready, this is your time. So just anything you'd like to share, any thoughts, feelings, anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like honestly my brother and I were playing a really strong game, and we were trying to make some big moves, and we did that. It was just a little bit hard to recover from, and obviously with the pairs dropping out, with the pairs dwindling down, I knew that both of us wouldn't be able to go far, go to the end together, obviously. So once Ant went, so it really was going to be opening up to me, because I really wanted him to stay in longer. I think he was actually playing harder than I was, which I'm really proud of him for doing. It was just tough. I was trying to work my way in, trying to let people know that I was a free agent, I was open to doing whatever. I feel like the next two people that go should have scooped me up and tried to work with me, but I tried my hardest. I'm really proud of myself. Sixth place is nothing to sneeze at, so.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you mentioned that you're really proud of yourself, because you have a ton to be proud of, making it all the way to the last day of the game. So I'd love to hear maybe something that you're the most proud of about yourself out here.
Oh gosh. I think just being able to just do it, honestly. Like, to be able to play, battle the elements. We had the crazy rain the other night. I didn't sleep from Friday until just last night was the first time that I slept.
Wow.
So just being able to have that mental strength to push through to this game, losing my brother and getting through at least a couple votes after that, I'm proud of myself for. And just coming out and doing this, and I'm really glad that I got my brother into it. That was really one of the big factors. Obviously, our charity, we were raised money for the American Red Cross. Our dad passed away last year from a heart attack, so we came out here to honor him. So I know that he would be proud of both of us. So that all-encompassing answer was my answer to your question.
That's wonderful. You actually answered my very last question. But before I let you go, yeah, we always give everyone a chance to shout out their charity. So of course, Anthony also was shouting it out as well. And no, Anthony was shouting it out at the last. I know you're Joe. Don't worry. Anthony was shouting it out at the last, exit interview, and sharing with us how deeply meaningful it is to both of you and the rest of your entire family. So we're so happy that both of you have made it here and raised a ton of money for a very, very, very worthy cause. And before I let you go, just anything, I feel like, the experience out here teaches you a lot about yourself. So is there any particularly fun or important or meaningful lesson that you've learned out here?
I think I kind of mentioned it before, just being in the right mindset. I think I told a lot of people that they were kind of asking me what to prepare for when coming out here. And I think, you can practice challenges at home, even though that foot challenge I'm going to have to practice at home because I was so close. But I think having the right mindset coming into these things is the most important thing. And I think I'm like okay.
Okay.
I'm really,
Huh. We're back. Sorry. We did it. All right. Sorry about that. My phone was overheating, but Joe was just sharing
Yes.
what he had learned.
Yeah, so I was saying that the biggest thing that I'll say is just like having the right mindset coming into these games, I think, is the most important thing. You can practice challenges, you can try to start fire at home, but I think the mindset is the best thing to have in preparation for coming out here. Sorry, I'm really tired.
Oh, good.
But yeah,
Can't imagine why.
adding the element of playing with a loved one was like really interesting, and then of course you guys threw the one world twist on us as well. So I think there was like a lot that you really couldn't prepare for in that aspect, but you know, it's just like get through each vote and just, you know, keep your eye on the prize, and I did that as long as I could.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, thank you so much, and congratulations on making the jury. I'll let you head on over to Ponderosa, and we will see you at the next Tribal Council.
Thanks everybody.
All right. Thanks for sticking with it while my phone got overheated. I'm going to go cool it off so that we do not cut out during the next immunity challenge. So we will see you back here shortly. Red Game is gonna come on in and do their thing, and then we will be going live again. We're just gonna be fast and furious today, trying to get everything done in a timely and expedient manner. So we will see y'all in a little while.